Aloha, you beautiful souls. I am here with an update on some things. I'm currently in Kula. I am staying with the beautiful soul that I mentor and her husband, um, where I kind of started my journey, to be fair, here on Maui. So, quick update, things have improved loads in some ways since I last was on here. And in other ways, things are still very challenging. Emotionally, I'm still trying to keep things together. I've been jumping on the effort. Pardon my hair; it keeps getting in the way. I've jumped in on the effort and doing what I can do to get word to my ohana on the other side of the island, because I'm on the east side right now, technically, or in upcountry anyway. Water has been electrics have been restored finally at my place. However, it has come at a high price. And this is a part of what I want to say in this video. So we have a couple of things that are on that I want to share with you. There is Fernanda, and then there's another low pressure system that could develop into a tropical storm or hurricane, something of that nature as well, that is heading its way here. Right now, Fernanda, I think, is a tropical storm. I am keeping track of it on something called zoom.earth, I think it is. Somebody sent it to me a while back, and I've been utilizing that. So if any of you are keeping tabs on that, you can go ahead and see that to see what I'm on about. That's our next area of concern, because whilst quote unquote normalcy is starting to come back, there are conflicting reports as to whether our water is good. Some websites and Maui Water is saying supposedly our water up where I'm at is good, but the water a few miles south from me, where the hardest hits areas were, is nay. So even that, people are still uncertain. Right across the street at the beach park from my place, there currently is a distribution center that's set up now for food and for water, which is fantastic. There is, for those who need medications, any of you who are seeing this and can get word to your people on the other side of the island, if you're still there, medications are available now at Lahaina Gateway. Napili Park, which is not too far from me, as well, is also a distribution center. I've just heard Napili Market has just now finally opened again, and they're open 24/7. They have electrics. And the Hyatt and several other hotels, I believe, are starting to also possibly be housing evacuees. So this stuff is all good. Things are finally mobilizing. Here's where the problem areas are. One is people actually getting the supplies. If I were there on the other side of the island now, I'd be blessed because our distribution center is right across the street. The problem, though, is that our area is vast, and it's got loads of roadways that are. If any of you have been on Maui or understand what it's like up on the west side, there's a lot of area in between certain towns, in between certain sections where homes are. There's a bunch of homes in one area, and then there's nothing for a wee bit. And the problem is that people are, some of them are elderly, some of them have children, some of them aren't able to walk a mile to 2 miles to get to a distribution center to get food, to get water, and what have you. So that's a big problem right now, is actually getting it from the distribution centers to the people who are farther away. The second issue is what I started to say earlier, which is Fernanda and or the other low pressure system. And I started my other live with something, so I'm going to dive a bit deeper. And there's Akashic record wisdom in this as well, because those of you who know who I am and what I do, I access the Akashic records. I have been dealing with my own trauma with this, whilst trying to help others as well. And yet, so my vision has been a little clouded in terms of sessions and stuff recently, but I'm starting to come into a more calm space where I can access things a bit better. And I've also received information confirming this. This, as I said to you in my last video, is deliberate. And so deliberate that literally 3/10 of a mile from my place for the last 2 nights, almost at the exact same time, fire has started. And the first night, which was 2 nights ago, evacuations actually happened in my area again, forced evacuations. I left on the basic evacuation, the evacuation alert that was given. We have also had issues, and I just got here, when I got here to Kula with who I'm staying with, I found out yesterday that there was an evacuation order, as in somebody came around with a bullhorn, but because the couple who I'm staying with, both of them have a hard time hearing. She's 80, he's 86, I believe, and they didn't know what was going on. They have a steep driveway. Nobody came up here to tell them, and they should have evacuated. And there's loads of people on island who this has happened to. Okay, so here's the thing with this other system that's coming in of Fernanda and this other low pressure system that you see. This can be an excuse for them to deliberately do this. This is part of a land grab of what they're trying to do, is get the rest of the Hawaiians, the natives, to basically give up their land, and they're going to put in a smart city here. And Maui is supposed to be the pilot. And I'm not saying this as some sort of conspiracy theory. There's actual proof. There is a conference that happened at the beginning of this year here. And there is one, I believe, that's supposed to be in Honolulu. Somebody said it was Maui, but it's supposed to be in Honolulu in October, I believe it is. In September. But there is a gathering in October here at the Hyatt. Now, pardon me, I'm getting my glasses on and I'm trying to look at my laptop here. I have a couple of websites to give you guys. If you look at IEEE, so that's I with 3 E's, smc2023.org, you will see what I am talking about. This is actually supposed to be at the Hyatt, which the Hyatt is actually right down the road from where I am, and this is actually where that fire was started. Now, I want to get back to that fire because it's very important. The fire for 2 nights in a row, last night and the night before, almost at the exact same time, I think maybe within an hour or so of each other, we got word of these fires. And the thing that bothers me, and I did post about it here on my Facebook, the first one, the thing that bothers me is that I believe, now I am free from getting complete confirmation on this yet, but last I heard there was still the oil tanker from Maui Oil that was there that was supposed to be distributing fuel to everyone. Now, certain other avenues have been made open. The Shell petrol station that we all thought had exploded during the original fire is still standing. They are opening that up. However, I believe that tanker is there. And my greatest concern is when they started those 2 fires, which some people are saying are microwave technology, some people are saying they're direct energy weapons, because I have seen footage over at the bird sanctuary in Olinda where this happened, and it's a huge blast of light that happens, and there's no electrical power lines there. So when these fires were set and went and happened, and there's no way they were necessarily flare-ups. The jump that happened from the other part of the fire, yes, but this was a completely new situation. And that tanker was right there. And if that fire would have reached that tanker because it was right there, I mean, maybe a 1/10 of a mile probably away, I'm guesstimating, but it was somewhere around there, then that whole side of the island, and including my home and everyone that I love that's still there and know and care about, would not be here. Okay, so this is something that they still have the potentiality to cover up and utilize Fernanda and or this other low pressure system and or other things coming between now and 9/11, quote unquote, and other times continuing off of this to create fear in everyone, to scare everyone, and to ultimately get everyone off the island to build this smart city. And I'm not saying this out of fear. I'm not saying this out of conspiracy theory. This is actual facts. So that one website that I gave you, the other one that is confirming along the lines of that, let me pull this up, is something called the Hawaii Digital Government Summit. And it's set to be in Honolulu. It may have been originally here on Maui, and they changed it. I'm not sure. But when you go to the website, it is actually in Honolulu on 25 September. So it's coming up here in a little over a month, and it's focusing on all of this. And it's very disconcerting. It's very sad to see what is on. And it's also very scary, not in the sense of fear, but in the sense of what they are doing to all of us. My understanding is the Paradise Fires in California were like this. There are different places all over the world this has been happening. However, as far as I'm aware, the smart city model, quote unquote, has not been put in these places yet, and Maui is set to be the test. And as much as I love this land and sea, I'm just going to make this statement now. If that turns out to be the case, I will not be on this island anymore. I've already, even before this, have considered it due to everything that was on in my life since I have shown up here. And this is not the Maui test, as everybody talks about. It's just there were certain people on this island who were very corrupt. I want to share a couple of other things with you. There is a possibility in looking back at all of this, I could have either been there, not necessarily on Front Street, but there in that area, or on my way home when this was all happening on the Tuesday when this broke out. Reason being is generally Tuesdays I am in haiku, and I'm usually working at Ace of Cups giving sessions. However, as most of you know, and probably saw some of my videos, you go back and look on my Facebook feed, I did used to work on Front Street. I did used to work at Jess's Beautiful Soul Shop giving sessions for donations. Some of you met me from there, and it was a wonderful time. Now, there were certain things that happened, and I took myself away from that being there, but I still was constantly there. On Front Street. I would go by to Vigilante several times a week. And a shout out to Nate. God bless you, Nate, and Bella, all of you. You lost everything. Bella lost her home. Nate, they lost the business. Jess at Beautiful Soul Shop, I heard she has lost her home, her partner's home. And they basically have nothing because they lost their businesses. So many people. There was a bloke who I met there when I was doing sessions at the kiosk there of Jess's shop. He was recovering from cancer. He was an older man. I think he might have been 70, 75. So a wee bit older than I. He would come by my table and he would sit and he'd just pull a card, and he was lonely and he wanted to chat, and he was in the flats right there behind Jess's shop, right there behind Vigilante, which is now no longer there. I don't even know his name. I never even got his name. I don't even know if he's alive. Okay. So there is so much devastation and so much loss. Seeing the community come together, though, our ohana coming together in ways is unimaginable. It's just been amazing. Yet there is also this other cloud of smoke, if you will, and we need your help. And this is why I am asking for this. Whether you're spiritual, whether you're religious, um, whatever your faith is or isn't, energy, vibration, frequency of love, so that we can together spiritually bypass this. And I don't mean spiritual bypass in the way that the spiritual community means. I mean, fight fire with fire in a good way, the firelight of love, so that we can overcome this and so that we can recover and properly rebuild Lahaina, and restore it in the Hawaiian way, for the Hawaiian lands, and this AI smart city agenda, so that the people who are on the other side of the island, who I left there, are able to get the resources that they need. Whether I'll return back, I'm not sure at this point. One of my biggest issues is I worked on island and I worked off island. There's no tourists right now, obviously, which is important because we need to be able to restore our land. Yet my work was dependent upon, in a large part, besides locals, also tourists. So my ability to work on island has been severely hindered. My ability to work off island and around the world is also hindered unless I am here on this side of the island. I currently do not have a place to stay on this side of the island long term, in terms of like a rental space like I have in Lahaina at the moment. I am staying here. I have been offered to stay here. I have to look at the logistics of that, financially, what the situation is, with help in terms of me rent, because I rent the condo over there. I don't know the logistics of my situation, but for me, I am trying to handle me as well, but I'm also concerned about my ohana on island, to make sure everybody's safe, because we still have fire here. Even as much as a couple of miles from here, helicopters were flying overhead just no less than maybe an hour ago. There's still fire active. The Lahaina fire is still active. It is, I think they said, 85% contained. However, on Tuesday, as some of you may be aware, on Tuesday, they claimed it was 100% contained, and then look what happened, or Monday night, or whatever the heck it was. I can't remember what time, date, or what have you, but I think it was Tuesday. So containment, done I mean bugger all. In my eyes, when the bloody thing is out, then we can breathe the sigh of relief. So right now, we are dealing with multiple things, but I'm asking for your assistance. As far as donations to me, I have had loads of you message me saying, what can I do to assist you? You've done so much to help me, and mahalo. Thank you. I dearly, deeply appreciate those of you who have already donated. If anybody wants to donate to assist, my PayPal is my email address, which is nanari@diamondlady.net. My Venmo is nanari@nanariprincess. I do have Zelle, but right now I can't even remember what that is. But at any rate, for donations, please let me stress something. With the exception of people who are on island, who are giving things to the local distribution centers, and even, like I said earlier, we're struggling to get that on the other side of the island and in other places of the island. If you're looking to donate money, please, 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 I can't stress this enough, please find people who personally are affected. People like Nate, go look up Vigilante Lahaina. People like Jess, Beautiful Soul Shop in Lahaina. People like myself. There was a family of 4 who was lost. Some of you may have seen that on the media. The family has GoFundMes. Find actual people who have been affected, rather than giving to the Red Cross or all these other things. I won't even go into the corruption that's involved in that. But let me just say, when you give to those types of big organizations, the chances of us here physically receiving it on island are very slim. So please find direct people to give to, and give to their GoFundMes, their whatever, PayPals, Venmos, whatever it is, so that the money can actually go to the people who are affected and to help our community. Because there are many who are receiving donations who are needing it for themselves, and then they're also building funds to restore the community. So I can't stress that enough. Please, please, please do not go with these other organizations. The other thing I can say what I already said, which is energetically, hold that vibration of love, your prayers, your thoughts, your vibrations, your healing. Any of you who are sound healers, sound healing, ohms, chants, anything will help us to uplift our ohana, to uplift our Aina, our land here, so that we can heal. And I will try to keep you updated. I am putting that out there this evening. We done. I have another fire breakout by my house. I'll keep you updated as much as I can when I can. But I just wanted to come on here and say I love all of you. I appreciate you, and I will update you more when I can. And much aloha. I love all of you.